I'm Brandon Kaiser.
Richard Buckner.
Kristen Clark.
Oh, that's me. Kid Comingle.
Jan Van Hammer.
No. Say it.
Josh Jessen.
And this is our review of Iron Man 3. Great.
I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one.
So today we saw Iron Man 3, and in this modern retelling of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, alcoholic playboy Robert Downey Jr. must combat the follies of his past and the most Jewish Chinese wizard I've ever seen. Aided with his love interest Emma Woodsworth and Patty the daytime hooker, he overcomes his physical limitations while remaining an asshole.
I knew Patty the daytime hooker was going to end up in this somehow.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
I'm really
What
glad
are we
that did,
talking
because
about?
I thought the same thing as soon as I saw her. So anyways, it's a My Name is Earl reference. It's a My Name is Earl reference for those of you who aren't aware of what we were talking about.
That's
We
a good
really
show.
don't use daytime hookers. So,
But
As
Sully made an
always.
Emma reference, and that's the first time anyone's done that in at least 15 years.
okay,
Just saying.
sweet. So anyways, we did see Iron Man 3.
It's
It-
like Hunger Games. She had a boat.
Great. So we saw Iron Man 3. It's directed by Shane Black, who he wrote Lethal Weapon movies, and he wrote and directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and a bunch of other stuff. So it stars Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Don Cheadle, Guy Pearce, Rebecca Hall, James Badge Dale, Ben Kingsley, and of course, holding over from directing the first two, Jon Favreau. So we're going to let Kit go first this time, because last time, if you, for some reason, listen to this all the time, or watch it, or whatever you do,
For
you will know that Kit isn't very good at going last.
Yeah,
'cause
things we
he's
learned from
just
last
weird.
podcast. I can't go last, and I can't take notes. So it's all coming right from
So this
here.
should be interesting, so take it away, Kit. Or drink, and then take it away, Kit.
Alright.
Moisten his throat. Woof.
So I thought it was, honestly, better than the second movie.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Better than the
Didn't like the second movie very much. I thought the Iron Man 2 was kind of.
I love Mickey
it
Let's
was
just
Yeah.
let him go.
like the way the
You can
place they
stand
took
in your
the place they took Tony Stark really didn't go where I wanted to. But this one, they got more. I don't know. They did better. They did better
Okay,
with the story.
alright.
I agree.
Do you think?
I agree.
Why?
So-
Why do you think that is? Like, do you think that's because of different director? Do you think it's because?
I think it'd be a different director.
Okay.
Different director.
Do you think it was learning mistakes from Iron Man 2, maybe? Or?
Bit, yeah, and they covered more about the they had a better villain. I feel too.
Well, they did have
They had
the
a darker-
quintessential Iron Man villain.
darker
so-
tone.
For the well, their take on it, but for most, it
Yeah.
is the Mandarin,
Yeah,
right?
the Mandarin.
That's in the trailers. No spoilers. It's in the
spoilers,
trailers.
yeah. I was kind of worried when I saw Pepper Potts put on the armor for one scene because I thought
For one.
I thought of Rescue from where she actually had the armor.
I thought the same thing. I thought it was very much a little fan servicey, I guess, for people who read the comics. Maybe they're like, oh, it's kind of like a rescue thing, or not. Maybe it was just what it was.
Quick aside,
So.
was that Ultimates or was that normal?
That's normal Invincible Iron Man, Matt Fraction.
Because I know I've read it,
Rescue.
I just couldn't remember
Yeah.
where Rescue came in.
Yep.
I like how they connected.
That's the Iron Man where he looks like Josh Holloway for some reason. So, anyways.
I like how they connected the Avengers to it. They kind of showed that he had a little bit of PTSD from the whole experience. And I kind of thought they were going to answer the question, which, no spoiler really. I mean, this little kid said, like, how did you survive the wormhole? Because people did
Because
ask
there's
that,
no
like,
gravity in space.
Yeah, like, how the fuck did you get pulled into it? I guess because there's a gravity well, because who the fuck knows?
That is science.
Science. I'm sure there's a science reason for it, and you know what? I'll get it one day. I'm not crying about it. I like that I like the ending scene, which they had the commercial where they showed all the different Iron Men, because it honestly brought me back to my childhood a lot, where you go to the store, you get a figurine, and they have all these frickin' Batman figurines where he was wearing a scuba suit. And he has this.
Scuba
It's
suit.
no fucking way. I did not see any scene in Batman Returns where he had that shit on.
And I did have at least 3 Iron Mans of different, like I had Drill Iron Man, I had...
Yeah, and they showed every single
Black.
different Iron Man. I was like,
Yeah,
now they have a reason to sell that shit. Because that shit was in the movie.
Yeah, at least they put it in there.
That
I know what you're
happens.
saying. I know what you're
It
saying.
did have its 2 seconds of screen time, that totally warrants another $6.
Yeah.
And he
It
named
does.
some of them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Like,
he
he said
did,
like
yeah.
this one, this, you know, like.
Yeah, you had different names for them. They had different like shit they did, and it was really interesting.
was a
The
party.
Hulkbuster one was pretty rad, but well, I guess it wasn't really a Hulkbuster one, but
Well, I never called it by name, but it's pretty much Hulkbuster armor.
Was,
Everyone agrees.
was that supposed to be if Hulk had an Iron Man suit? I
No,
saw
it was-
that
it was
one.
the style.
Okay, as
It was-
someone who doesn't read comics, Richard, Hulkbuster armor is the armor that Iron Man basically makes in case like they can't control the Hulk or the Hulk goes crazy.
like
It's
you just put the Hulk down.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
so
suit
someone
design.
has a
Everybody knows
straight
it would
jacket
totally
for
be
the Hulk.
Iron Man. He
Hence
has to
the
see
name-
not to put on
Hence
that.
the name Hulkbuster armor. Okay.
Fair
It's
enough.
for busting Hulks.
I
So-
saw that
Busted
and
makes me
merely
feel
wondered
good.
that.
Bustin' makes him
Yeah.
feel good.
Of course I loved Robert Downey Jr.'s performance. Great Tony Stark. In fact, I'm not even sure he's playing Tony Stark or just playing Robert Downey Jr., which
Good point.
just shows how good of an actor he is,
Good point.
or how awesome Robert Downey Jr. is.
Or how much he is Tony
Well, no,
Stark
I
at
think-
this point.
I think at that point it shows how good the casting is, as
Yeah.
opposed to...
Yeah.
Guy
If
Pearce.
he's not really acting anymore.
Guy
Guy
Pearce
Pearce?
did a great job, I thought. Like
Yeah.
from like the flashback scene they had at the beginning to the
Yeah.
the
And yeah.
And you can tell it was him as opposed to in Prometheus.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even tell it's Guy Pearce basically.
Who's
Wait,
he?
what, he's in-
Wait,
He's the old dude. But
That's
that's
Oh yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow, don't hate me. Thought she did a great performance. I like that she got really physical in some of the scenes.
Yeah, it was
In the
nice to
movie?
see her not just be like a damsel in
Yeah,
distress.
I like that. That was different, and that was pretty bitchin'. Not a huge fan of Jon Favreau because he just seems really strange.
Really?
In acting?
Strangely, well, most of his scenes are.
I thought he was
He's an
Parkman
angry
for a
asshole.
second. I was like, is that the Park Man? And I'm like, oh shit, it's Park Man.
Bergman.
Remember when he wanted to be Beast? Oh my God.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
But yeah, all around I really enjoyed the movie. It's my second favorite Iron Man movie. It can't be the first one. Okay. I love the first one. Didn't like the second one so much. Believe that this is probably my second favorite. I kind of felt bad because there wasn't a Shield connection, like there has been.
Oh, you mean no shield presence?
Hence, no Coulson. I felt really
Well-
missed Coulson. I actually watched the beginning and kind of like,
Something
oh,
funny.
when is Coulson gonna show?
Kristen-
Oh, wait, no, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. But and well,
no!
okay,
Rest in
so
peace!
so however they handle Coulson in the Shield series, because we now know he's going to be in it. Yeah, they're saving that for that. So they're not going to have. This is why Coulson's still alive in Iron Man 3. So.
Yeah. So this movie. Oh, by the way, Ben Kingsley's character. Like I thought it was good.
The
Be
Jewish
careful on
man.
spoilers.
I know,
Be careful on spoilers.
and then it got better.
It
And that
did!
surprised me. I thought it like when I realized, no way to not spoil that, but oh wow. So pretty much, yeah.
Threw
This
me for a
movie.
loop.
I actually was a bit like I was hesitant about this movie a bit because Iron Man 2 wasn't a huge fan of it as much as 1, but
Okay.
exceeded expectations. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. So Kristen, what did you think of the movie?
I recently, I've seen Iron Man, but I recently saw Iron Man 2, and I wasn't really impressed with it either.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had boycotted it because I heard Emily Blunt was going to be Black Widow, and I really liked Black Widow, and then she dropped out, and it was Scarlett Johansson, so I wasn't really thrilled about it, but I like Scarlett Johansson much better now, and just, the second movie, I just thought it dragged a lot.
Okay.
And it never really captured my attention, but this movie...
Didn't care about the bird.
What?
Bring me the bird.
Yeah,
It's,
the bird.
Sorry to interrupt.
Bring me the bird. But
I want the bird. Anyways.
this is not my bird.
What
But
What the fuck is going on?
We're doing the Mickey Rourke thing where he keeps asking about the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you asked like
What's
one dude
the
from
bird?
Boone
He's
about
like,
the
"What's
bird.
my
Yeah.
bird?"
Sam Rockwell. We're
Yeah.
bringing Boone again.
Yeah.
Two podcasts in a row.
And it's okay.
Awesome.
But I thought this movie
Two
was
podcasts.
way better than Iron Man 2.
Okay.
I agree with Kit. I think probably well, I don't know. I think this one and Iron Man 1, I
Close,
like them
yeah.
the best. They're pretty
Like-
close.
Usually I don't like origin stories, but Iron Man 1
To be
was-
fair, I don't really
Pretty
remember.
rock hard.
Interesting thing I just want to bring up right here and what you guys are talking about. How does this compare to Avengers? As opposed to Iron Man 1 and 2.
I think it didn't drag quite as much as Avengers.
Oh shit.
I liked Avengers better.
I think this
I
dragged a
love the
little more
Avengers.
than
I love
Avengers,
the Avengers.
actually.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know. I
gotta keep my
thought
metal
it
pin
quite
pants
as
strong.
much. Like in the Avengers, you know, like when they were fighting, I was just like, get it over with. Alright.
Yeah, I was
Wow,
saying, in
that's-
Avengers, I was annoyed with Avengers that who had the bigger dick contest.
Exactly.
That was nice.
Yeah.
But it was like 3/4 of the movie.
It was like 3 quarters of the movie, and then they got into the action, so I wasn't as
That's the
annoyed like
Avengers,
at the
though.
beginning.
By the way,
you know?
Hulk had bigger dick. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, I thought it was way better than Iron Man 2.
Fair enough.
Robert Downey Jr. was amazing. I mean, he usually is, but you know, I'm just glad he's having this resurgence and you know being sober. But yeah,
I gotta
oh
see
my
Chaplin
god,
again.
like remember when Tom Cruise was rumored to play Iron Man?
No, I don't remember this at
Remember that?
all.
No, he won, and I'm just so glad that he is not Iron Man.
Yeah.
Robert
Oh,
Downey
that's
Jr. is
so
Iron
weird.
Man.
That wouldn't have worked.
Because I just think, you know,
Who's that midget in the robot suit?
no, this is when
Robert Downey Jr. was lifts too, by the way, just so you
when
know.
Robert Downey Jr. is at
He's not
his
very
best, and in this movie, I think he was even better. Like, you know, he played that smug asshole or whatever, but he kind of showed some heart, finally, some emotional depth.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure.
So,
No, I agree with
I
that.
just thought it was, you know, even better. And I agree with Kit that the new director brought some life into the film.
Okay.
You know, because of the last one, I wasn't really impressed, but this one, you know, just brought some life into the film, man.
Something I did notice I forgot to mention.
What?
Kind of a good point, or bad point, however you want to take it. No AC/DC.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice that.
That's true. I didn't think of that either, but it's true.
Because when the end credits rolled, I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, they're not playing an AC/DC song.
That was a little
Well,
strange.
I
To be
thought-
fair,
Okay,
this
well,
movie,
I
I think some
they
of the musical
played-
choices were a little weird.
They played
in
all
this
the
movie,
songs.
though, to say
So,
that.
let's-
I think to be fair, they played every AC/DC song in the last 2 movies, so they're just kind of random.
Yeah.
I guess, and maybe they wanted to kind of show that this isn't just the same Iron Man movie.
Nobody
again,
wants
so.
a stiff upper lip.
Maybe they started playing
Montage.
like DVD.
That or to sell their AC/DC Greatest Hits CD, just Iron Man soundtrack.
If they started
Yeah.
playing Big Balls at the end of the credits, that'd be
That would have been weird. They're like, look, we ran out of AC/DC songs that were popular. Here's Big Balls.
Big Balls is popular, dude. So.
Well, I know, I'm just saying, like, they've run out of, like,
Sorry.
look, we played,
Would be
I
great.
know what you're
else.
saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just
So,
wanted to add
is
that bit.
that all you want to say? Is there anything else? you want to add?
I'm glad that Jon Favreau was still there, though. I don't know. Because,
As
you
Happy
know,
Hogan, just
he's such a comic book geek. And
No hard
I think
feelings.
He's got a lot of heart into the film, you know. And the first one was so good, so I'm just glad that he was
Oh,
still
yeah.
there.
It wasn't a big role, but it was an important one.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I thought it had some nice humor elements. And no, I'm
And I'm
not
sure
a
you got
huge
it.
fan of Gwyneth Paltrow, but in the second movie, all she did was bitch.
Oh, yeah,
And
she did.
everything.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that was so fucking annoying.
Another problem
But
with the second
this
movie.
one, you know.
She had a purpose.
Yeah, she had purpose. I enjoyed her. I wasn't annoyed by her. I thought she did a great performance. But I do hope that she stayed Pepper and not like becomes some
Oh yeah, I'm sure they
superhero.
fixed that shit. Yeah.
And although I do like, you know, when girls kick a little ass, it's always fun. And
Richard looks weird.
Yeah. His hat's tilted a bit.
I thought the ending credits that was kind of cute.
Oh.
And I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed it a lot. It was definitely worth the money, and I wasn't bored. So.
Okay. Before we switch over to Josh, though, interesting you said about Jon Favreau. I had heard that when they were making Iron Man 1, whenever they needed consulting, they would talk to J.J. Abrams about possibly, should we do this, should we do that, whatever. And they said that this time with Shane Black taking over, it was kind of that, but with Jon Favreau. Like, it was, they consulted him on a lot of things, like,
Right.
should we do this, should we do that? I thought that was interesting, but anyways. So, Josh, now take it away with what you thought of the movie. Sorry for that little interlude.
I liked it. Richard? No, I'll be honest, I didn't really go into it with that high of an expectation, just because it's the third superhero sequel movie,
Yeah.
and traditionally, they suffer a lot of the same faults. And I thought this one actually avoided every third sequel superhero movie trope that's been out there. It had some very smart writing. It kind of approached the issues. It wasn't just like another, well, it's the third movie, obviously he's got to lose everything and he's got to come back. Like, they approached everything a little bit differently than what's been done with like Spider-Man 3 or The Dark Knight, or God, if we want
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, or if you want to even mention Batman Forever.
Or X3.
Or X3.
God.
I still think Forever is pretty good. I think Batman and Robin is where that fell apart. But anyways.
But no, like it did I wasn't expecting a whole lot. Like I figured because Marvel has been doing really good with their franchises so far, I was kind of like, I don't think they'll fuck it up this bad. And no, they actually made a really decent, like, I didn't know where they were gonna go with this one because I know the second movie was rushed. Like we all know that like the first movie was good. The second one, they just kind of was like, all right, we made a lot of money, let's make another Iron Man.
Yeah, at first Favreau wasn't even going to do it because he's like, I need time to make it.
And obviously, as everyone said here, the second movie suffered quite a bit from its ability. But this one, coming off of Avengers and just like jump-starting the next season, I guess.
The next wave.
Wave
Phase 2.
season.
They call it Phase 2.
Phase 2, whatever they're calling it, but the next part of the Marvel movie thing, I thought it's a very strong start. And I don't think it disappointed. I thought it was really good, smart writing, good action sequences. It took the Iron Man mythos, we call it whatever, like the genre.
I like that you said that. That was pretty fancy sounding.
Well,
Iron Man
took,
mythos.
well, with Extremist and all the other stuff, like, and the Mandarin, and it took it into a different way that, I just think what they used the assets of Iron Man that are kind of popular right now. Like the Iron Man staples, they took them, they used them differently in ways that, like, I didn't know where they were going with that. They certainly surprised me with basically everything they did in this movie. And they performed it very well. Robert Downey Jr., always the perfect Tony Stark. Yeah. When we saw, what was it, Black Dahlia, where it was basically...
No, it was Zodiac. David Fincher's Zodiac was the movie that we walked out of and went, he's going to be a great Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was great for what he was in. Like,
well, we were... Okay, a lot of people were down on the casting before Iron Man 1, right? And we were one of those people, like, we weren't like, oh, he's going to be awful and all that kind of crap. But walking out of Zodiac, we were like...
Give him a mustache and he's Tony Stark.
Well, he had a mustache in Zodiac. He already kind of looked the part. And he was a drunk, and like he had like
all those like oh god, yeah.
So there was we were always a fan of him as Tony Stark, and he delivers an amazing performance as always.
As always.
And even like just I think a little bit more notch above, and a lot of callback to Avengers. I just think thinking about all this like the Marvel universe and their movies, just kind of moving it all together.
But they didn't overdo it.
They didn't
overdo the Avengers references, and they didn't have any cameos.
No,
from Avengers or anything.
Outside of Kenosha Zone,
Kenosha Zone, Mark Ruffalo. Kenosha Zone, Mark Ruffalo.
You know how many fucking Ruffalos are in Kenosha?
Yeah, tons. But
Mark
Ruffalo's the only famous one. And he's only in one little scene, and that was kind of spoilery. But anyways,
not even.
It's not important to the story.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Let's be fair, it wasn't important at all.
Oh, it was entertaining, right? Yeah, it was entertaining.
I guess we've only ruined that as much as, Samuel L. Jackson being cast as Nick Fury in the first Iron Man was ruined before that movie came out.
Well, I guess called that in the damn comics, so... Steve Buscemi should have happened as like...
It should have. But, no, all in all, that was really... For a third movie in a series... I felt like it was like a refresher. It wasn't just like let's rehash what we've been doing and make another movie. It seemed like as they're going with Phase 2, this was Iron Man 1 Phase 2 sort of thing. Like that's what I felt. Like I didn't think it was just a rehash or let's just throw 3 more villains into it. Whatever, like they do with Spider-Man, where they just kind of like throw more at it, and, make it bigger, and like and screw up everything and whatever. I think they just yeah.
All right.
I didn't see it as that. I think they just kind of went like, all right, we're due like this is our next
X-Men 3.
Oh god,
that doesn't exist. X3 does not exist. This was them just going, all right,
Superman 3 or Richard Pryor.
That exists, but only because it makes me laugh. But no, this was basically just them going, all right, we're doing another set of Marvel movies, Iron Man, go. And they just kind of they
did a great job.
They did a great job for a third movie, which, as we said, sequels, especially by the
superhero
usually kind of spurt out. This one did not, and it kind of
that could have gone horribly wrong.
It could have gone horribly wrong. They did not do that, and they kind of jump started what could be the rest of the Phase 2 Marvel line. And I think they did a great job. I'll throw it over to Richard.
All right. First of all, I guess, if you're wondering, stay or go after the credits, stay.
I think that was obvious at this point. It is a Marvel movie.
Well, he's saying it for
Don't
real.
tear Richard down.
Hey.
I'm just saying. That's
You
why
must always interrupt me.
No, he's doing it to Richard.
That's Kit
Hey,
that
let my
complains.
boyfriend talk. That's
Nobody puts Richard in
That's
the
Kit that
corner.
complains
Oh,
about
Who's
Richard.
our baby in the
Anyways.
corner?
Okay, show him a little bit of anger here.
Richard, he interrupted you first. I defended you.
Richard, we wouldn't like you when you're angry, so go
Alright,
ahead.
Richard,
Yeah, it
continue.
doesn't. Yeah.
Calm down.
Go.
Not
Yeah, we
really
can't.
derailed. So,
Performance
I never
issues.
saw Iron Man 2. Saw Avengers, so I kind of had an idea of what I was seeing. Kind of turned my brain off for this because I don't read comics. I don't really know what's going on. That's kind of my role, and what I bring to the table with this is you may have seen or will soon find out.
Nothing at the camera.
No, that's right, Richard.
Okay, keep going.
I mean, we saw it in 3D.
So you weren't confused at all? So you said you never saw Iron Man 2?
Richard
but
does
there
bring
was
up an
no-
excellent point that we forgot. We did actually watch this in 3D.
We did watch it in 3D.
We probably didn't have to, but
Sure.
we did.
It wasn't bad.
Kind of forgot some points.
I thought the 3D was
Yeah,
pretty
me too.
good.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, too.
That is true.
That's the best 3D, guys. When it's not a nuisance and in the way. Okay, Richard, sorry.
So we saw it in 3D. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I wasn't lost, like with our previous film. So at least kind of had an idea what's going on. I recognized characters. So
It's good.
it is for being the clueless guy in the group. It's like, alright.
Oh yeah, that guy's an asshole.
Call him Alicia Silverstone. Anyways, what you were saying?
Don Cheadle. He's
Great movie.
not Omar Epps and not Wesley Snipes
Or
Or
Terrence Howard?
or Terrence Howard.
That's true. I kind of didn't really know.
Yeah, because you never saw Iron Man 2, so...
I didn't, but I think through commercials and whatever else, I'm like, oh.
To be fair, Don
Okay.
Cheadle's a very easy recast. It's not,
Okay.
it's Don Cheadle.
I don't think it is bad,
Oh, no,
Fair enough. I mean,
not
that's
bad.
really all I got
What'd you think of the story, Richard?
out of the story.
Of the overall plot,
Did you
Hello,
like, did you
plot,
like the
yeah.
action?
but... Did you think this was slow at all? Did you think it was...
For some reason, there were parts that did seem to kind of move a little slow.
Was it
For
as
me.
slow as the bigger dick contest?
what the hell did you just say?
Whoa!
She's
All right,
making a
let's
reference
stop.
to Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah, what you said about Avengers.
I don't think so. He
Oh.
he started out
I
with
thought
his
she said Baker Dick.
Tony started out with his sleuthing. You know, I guess. that was
He is
probably-
the world's greatest detective.
No, that's Batman. But anyway.
Whatever, he's rich too.
Did you like Tony
That's
Stark?
true. Of course, Tony.
He a great, annoying asshole.
Yes, I am. I'm a fan.
Oh,
He
he's
does.
not annoying.
He does a good job of fulfilling the role.
What scenes really stood out to you that aren't spoilers?
Was it the swimming pool? I know Kit really loves the swimming pool.
I didn't see the swimming
Oh,
pool.
swimming pool.
I didn't see the swimming pool at the mansion, but I'm pretty sure that was the same facade as in Avengers.
Was it,
Okay.
Was,
His
was it Ben Culture's ass?
his house does seem to get fucked up a lot.
did you notice how dilated his eyes were? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
He
Keep
was
going.
running.
I didn't.
Keep going.
I
Keep it
I
rolling,
didn't
keep it
notice.
rolling.
There wasn't.
I
There
couldn't
really
resist.
wasn't much close-up shots of the face. I really wasn't paying attention.
Other than all those times he was in the Iron Man suit.
I was kind of half asleep. So
Okay,
Wow, alright.
so
it's been a long day.
overall,
Yeah.
good movie.
Overall, good movie. Yeah,
You enjoyed it.
I did.
Okay.
Do you have a reason to see Iron Man 2 now?
Nope.
Hey,
Yeah.
just hold on. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey the Rourke.
Mickey Rourke was awesome in that movie. And
Mickey
Mickey
Rourke
Rourke
is
was
actually
awesome.
good. Yeah, he is
He was
good in
good.
that movie.
I'm
Yeah.
sure if it comes to Netflix, I could.
I think
It
it
was
it is on
on
Netflix.
Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
No, they took it off.
Oh, they took it off
What?
already?
Yeah.
I know it was on there because I watched it.
We looked to try and stream it
Yeah, I had it.
to prep
No,
for
I-
this, but it wasn't
I had it in
available.
that instant.
I know everyone's kind of giving it a hard time this thing, and it wasn't the strongest movie, but Mickey
No.
Rourke was really good in
It's
it.
not, it's
He
not a
was
terrible
really good.
movie, it's just like
And
for an Iron Man movie.
It's worth it just for Tony Stark being drunk in the Iron Man suit.
That
and
was
floating up
fucking
the-
hilarious.
Well,
No, that's my favorite part of the movie, where
Me
he's just
too.
kind of where he's just kind of
I
like
really
slamming
don't
drinks and
With
just going like,
DJAM.
I got laser beam hands, and he doesn't know what he's
I
doing.
really don't like the DJ Iron Man scene. of Iron Man
I
2.
thought it was hilarious.
And then he throws down with Don Cheadle. Who's
And
not Don Cheadle.
Sam Rockwell's spray tan hands. You can watch it for that too.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
kinda
so
like-
all around,
And then
I think that's it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anyways,
That's it. Take it away.
all right, so I guess it's time for me to wrap this up with what I
Yes.
thought of it.
Good.
Wrapping it up is always a safe thing to do.
It is,
Alright.
and it's yeah,
Definitely.
it's a safe thing to do.
Responsible.
It's
Because you never know what diseases you might catch from whores.
Okay. And,
I know.
Yeah, and I usually interrupt you guys, but anyways,
How's it
I really liked it.
to feel this way?
I really liked it. I think I was probably the most excited for this movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go on a limb and say
No, I
that,
don't think
but
so,
You're a little dim.
I was.
You're wearing a shirt. We know.
I don't even know if that picks up, but
That
anyway.
shirt's awesome.
He's wearing a shirt where you can see the arc reactor underneath.
Mhm.
The old school arc reactor, not the new one that's like a
I could have got the
triangle.
new one, but I'm old school like that.
Oh, you should have got
But-
the new one.
Oh,
No.
old school,
No.
2003.
Hey,
Eight.
old,
It
old
wasn't
school
eight.
is
Okay.
Let me rip into it.
So
retro.
now that we've criticized my T-shirt, I really liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a worthy follow-up to Avengers. I don't think it was quite as strong as Avengers, but I mean, considering you're going from something that built for like 5 years to something that's once again back to a standalone one character sort of movie, yeah, great. And but I will say this is kind of like how comics work, right? Because there's Avengers comics, there are Iron Man comics. So this was kind of an Iron Man comic as opposed to the Avengers comic. They have stuff that they do in between storylines.
New story
right?
arc.
Absolutely.
That are their own little journeys, and that's what this was to me. So for people who complain, where were the rest of the Avengers? Comics don't work that way.
They were punching another crime.
Yeah,
Iron
I'm sure
Man
they had other
is
stuff
old
going
comic
on.
books.
Yeah, I'm sure they had other stuff going on.
There were
So-
neo-Nazi cells of Captain America had to go punch in the face.
Oh god, if we get Fear itself in movie form, I'm gonna be pissed because that sucked.
I
But
still
anyways,
kind of want to read that.
oh, it's
Scarlet
bad.
Witch.
So bad.
Don't care.
Anyways, this is
Looks
not what we're
pretty good when I
talking
flip through it. in the books.
We're not talking about that.
We're getting
So-
Secret War and you know it.
So I thought there was some clever and funny writing in this movie, which I'm granted a lot is probably Shane Black and Robert Downey Jr. and those guys kind of working together like that because I am a huge fan of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was Shane Black's like first directorial movie, whatever. What did you have to say?
The back and forth
Val
between
Kilmer.
him and the kid.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was great.
was
It was
pretty
great,
awesome.
yeah.
There were some excellent moments between him and a kid.
There was a lot of surprising dialogue choices.
And as soon as this movie started, I was reminded of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Because you have Robert Downey Jr. narration, and then it ends with Robert Downey Jr. narration. The same way Kiss Kiss Bang
You know
Bang
why would you
is
bring
set
it
up.
up? Because that's gonna come up sometime in the ending. Who knows? It's like
Well, yeah, it's him telling a story, which is what Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is
Yeah.
too. So maybe Shane Black falls back on those story
Abe Lincoln,
elements. a
Abe
little
Lincoln
more.
didn't show up in this one, so
Oh
Yes.
God, yeah.
Why not bring them all back?
Or Batman.
But anyway,
Yeah, actually, that would work with the end. Like, why don't we bring them all back? They're
yeah, that would have been pretty good.
that would have been holy crap.
In fact, that's what I thought of at the end, actually, too. When something happens at the
Did you
end.
think of Val Kilmer playing a fat Batman?
Actually,
Well, he said you with the
very-
ponytail. I actually thought
So-
of.
Well,
Val Kilmer.
That too, but and the fact that he's strung up and he needs to get out of it, and I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be the pistol. I'm like, never mind. Okay,
Yeah.
we're talking too much about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but there is something that happens at the end that I kind of thought of the why not bring them all back thing. But anyways, moving on to what I was saying, I thought it was interesting that they did a lot this time with him out of the suit,
yes.
especially like action wise. Like he had action sequences where. One, either he's not in the suit at all, or he's in a partial suit, or he's in,
And I thought.
His Home Depot suit.
I thought that was was
Yeah.
another strong part of the movie because,
Yeah.
like I said, they
Yeah.
didn't really do a lot of the same things they did in the third sequel. They kind of took him out of the suit, made him
Yeah.
rely a lot of either like on his own merits and stuff
On
like
his
that. Which
mechanical abilities.
yeah, no, and I thought that was
and they didn't do the same suit versus suit ending.
no, they didn't. And
Which is that they've done so far.
it was a really unique way of like they took Tony Stark and they took him out of the Iron Man suit and they made him and for like the third movie that usually has always been about like overcoming blah, blah like and all that stuff that they've been doing with like Spider-Man and like The Dark Knight Rises. This is like they just kind of you're out of the suit now and you're surviving on your own human merits, which he isn't that great of a superhero outside of his suit, and they show
Yeah.
that. And he does a lot of stuff outside
Well,
of his
honestly,
suit.
we do know that he's super smart, and so that he utilizes that
Yeah.
to do
Honestly,
things.
this is more of a technology versus biology sort of thing.
Kind of.
Well, that's
Kind of,
the
yeah.
extremist point of view. That's
Yeah.
All the extremists, like I think about in the comics, different. But
Yeah,
And this is just me. I
that's
always thought it
another
was
thing.
Extremist.
Me too. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. This is the same thing that people who have read Game of Thrones for years has a problem with, is the pronunciation of things. They always call them different things, and then in the show they call them something else.
Well, I'd ask
It's
for Alice,
confusing.
but I know if you look him in the eyes, he has full power to enter your dreams and do whatever he wants.
But that's not what
Warren
I want
Ellis
to
is the darkest wizard of the highest order.
So
Do not look him in the eyes.
Alright,
Okay.
Alright.
So he's full of shit. That is completely.
Right?
Oh God, what's his fucking name?
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore.
Yeah, I
There
know
you
what
go.
you're
No, he's
gonna
just
say.
a crazy
actual
wizard.
wizard.
No, Alan Moore's a wizard.
He's a wizard.
You
He
go look at
actually
Warren
is a
Ellis in
wizard.
the eyes and tell me he won't enter your
Oh,
dreams.
I don't
Because I
doubt-
look him in the eyes. Don't look
I
at
don't
Warren
doubt
in the
that Warren
eyes.
Ellis is also a wizard, but I'm just saying. Anyways,
I'll get him on the phone right now.
Extremist is handled completely differently, well, mostly differently here than it is in the comics.
Yes.
And as a fan
And I'm
of the
glad that they did.
Extremist, as I'm still calling it, storyline, I kind of thought that was a little weird, and I thought it was, I don't know. I know you can't do what they do in the comics in movie form because it'd be too
No.
unrealistic and too
No
crazy.
way.
You can't have a suit form around him, which they kind of try to do, but
They did
not in the same way that
they did it in
Extremist
the
works.
more
Extremist
way-
kind of like, it comes out of him, and he
Yeah, he came out of his
Nanotechnology.
skin and
nanotechnology.
bam,
stuff,
Iron
yeah.
Man had a suit wherever he went.
Yeah,
But
it's
And it was like,
And it was the
can't do
next step of the Iron Man evolution.
Or
and all
it
that
was his
stuff.
paging.
But
that. That's what I was afraid they were gonna do.
they played Extremist a
no,
lot
I never
different.
thought they were going to do that, but
Well, they
Yeah,
played
but
like
those-
they played Extremist a lot differently in this
Injection?
Yeah,
iteration.
with the injection
which I'm
thing,
fine with.
I guess
No,
it's supposed
and
to be
they-
locators, so you know where his hand is,
Yeah.
you know where his arm
But
is.
I think
yeah.
they did it because they did it the movie version of Extremist,
Yeah.
and I think they did it a lot. You know, knowing that you can't just rehash the comic stuff because
Yeah, yeah.
because as much
Jeez.
Jesus, as much as we always go, that would be really cool if it was a movie or whatever the hell. You don't
Yeah.
want to watch the same stuff over again.
It's true.
Honestly,
Seriously,
same thing.
Okay, sorry.
Same thing with Walking Dead. You know, you don't want to watch the same thing just in like
Although sometimes I don't like the changes in Walking Dead. But
all the
yeah,
same,
I
but
understand.
like the changes they did in this and the with Extremists and AIM, not to blow anyone's mind, but it's mentioned in the first 5 minutes. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that was another thing I wanted to bring
But
up.
like AIM and Extremists and like the whole, like even the characters that were in there and like not rescue but whatever, you know, that stuff.
Yeah.
The changes that they made fit the universe that Marvel has been writing for their movies, and it all fit together. And I think it was a really interesting interpretation of it, and I really liked the way they did it. And I didn't feel like it cheapened anything or took away from anything because I felt it fit really good in the universe they've been making for the movies.
Yeah, they found a clever way of integrating
Yeah,
it somewhat or in a different way.
I thought it was all very solid.
The AIM thing you brought up, though, kind of reveals some things early on in the movie. I don't know if they're necessarily spoilers, but, you know, like, you find out that AIM exists and you're kind of like, oh.
But it doesn't
AIM.
exist like it does in the comic book.
Not
Quick
quite
question.
the same. No, there aren't guys in yellow
He
suits.
was
you know,
rocking
like,
an AIM shirt.
Yes.
yeah.
Well, and he
but-
wanted. Well, no, like in the beginning
the
they
blue
say.
song.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Advanced
Where did
idea
he get the
mechanics.
shirt from?
He made it.
Did
He
they
was-
mold them?
You can get T-shirts made with logos and shit.
Oh, I meant like Tony Stark was wearing an AIM shirt at one point.
Oh,
Clothes?
yeah, no, that was
Towards
right.
the end of the movie, he was wearing one.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah,
put him in
yeah.
one. I think they put him in a shirt.
Well, they're supposed to be like the government's like military funding. I take it as AIM was their replacement for Stark Industries. Stark
Yeah.
Industries
Yeah.
got out of weapons and shit, so they
So
were
they
like,
had-
"Come on in, AIM."
Well, he
so,
said we got all these military contracts because you dropped out.
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
that's what I figured. But I mean,
So-
that's irrelevant, basically.
so yeah,
I just think it was
think,
a good retelling. But,
another thing that I kind of liked, Iron Man 2 had a lot of problems, and it seemed like they worked hard in this one to address a lot of those problems.
Right.
And one of them was,
Stark doesn't drink enough.
no, Robert Downey Jr. was kind of a little too over the top in what he was doing being Tony Stark, and this one they kind of toned him down a little bit.
But he
now,
still
still was wisecracking, he still was, you know,
He's still-
arrogant, he still had those Tony Stark tropes, but it was just a little more reserved, a little more toned down. He wasn't constantly joking around, he wasn't, you know, was it you that said about the emotional?
And
Or
they-
you?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The emotional.
They made that to
Yeah,
some
more
of the
heart.
Avengers. Like Avengers kind of humbled him a little.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
it's like-
little
but
bit.
He was over
Really?
the top and
Really?
that drained him.
Yeah.
Avengers humbled him a little.
Little.
He's still
Yeah.
he's still got that persona
he's
that
still
he's
there.
he's
Yeah.
still there, but basically, and they show throughout the movie that's
And the
just
kid
there
kind
too.
of helped
Yeah, like
pull him down.
like in Iron Man 2, he needed to be in the F1 car
He's-
and everything. He needed the
Yeah.
excitement.
He's
Yeah, which makes no sense.
And this one, he's got the Tony Stark shield just to protect himself from everything that happened in Avengers,
Yeah.
in which
Yeah.
they explore.
Yeah,
So-
like, it just like was too much for him, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is again, like I said, this is a really.
Anyways, I enjoyed this
Yeah.
more toned down, but still there version of Tony Stark. I did, however, because we've been very positive, and so I just want to bring up a little negative, as Richard kind of said.
Did you not like
This
Cuba
movie's a
Gooding
little
Jr.
slow in
as
parts.
War Machine?
Yeah, it is
No.
a bit.
It's a little slow in parts, especially in the beginning. It kind of takes a little while to get going, and I don't know. There were a couple of moments in the movie where I was like,
You know what?
we can move on a little bit, and there were some
Like,
detours.
what part?
and
Well,
things.
hold on,
like-
just to stop you again, unfortunately, sorry.
Yeah, I'm the one that gets interrupted here. I'm usually the interrupted
You-
person.
as usually, you're the interrupter.
This time, I go last. I get
feel
interrupted.
like
I want to stop you
Yeah.
here. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
But I will
Hey,
say,
Kanye.
I feel like this is because this is the first summer blockbuster movie of the year. Summer
Okay.
blockbuster movies always have to have like that extra runtime and go a little bit. And I felt like a lot of this stuff was just them like throwing more stuff in because like you can't have a summer blockbuster if its runtime is up at 90 minutes. You gotta have that 2-hour runtime like that.
Yeah, I know
That,
what
to
you're
be
saying.
to me, it felt like they just kind of threw more stuff in there because you can't just have like a 90-minute movie and go, this is a
Yeah.
blockbuster. You need to have a little bit more to it.
Are you sure
So
you're
they
not
just
only
gotta-
saying that because you need to pee as much as I did at the end of the movie?
I think maybe
No.
a little bit at the beginning, like with in Sweden or whatever. That,
But
that was
Switzerland.
good.
But you know, to be fair, I didn't
feel any time of
But-
wasted in this movie.
I didn't think
I
any.
didn't
Really?
either.
Well, no, and that's.
I thought we spent a little
I
too
think-
much time in the town with the kid. I mean, I liked that stuff, but I thought we spent a little too much time there.
It was
Like,
investigative.
there was a lot of time we spent
His
there.
suit
And we
was-
could have maybe done some other
His
stuff.
suit was
or-
down. He needed
I don't know,
to
you know, I'm gonna
be
go
Tony
with-
Stark.
I'm gonna go with kid on this one. I mean,
And in the beginning,
I
there was a
think
lot
it dragged
of.
it
There were-
along, really.
there was a
lot
little bit of fluff.
I can't sleep and I'm doing a bunch of stuff, and that's fine.
But
we
that's
know
another-
that. It is. But we kind of just spent too long on it, is what I'm saying. Like, it just seemed like it could have moved a little faster, okay? One of the things that people loved about Avengers was how quickly it moved.
But it wasn't
What?
Avengers. It's an Iron Man movie.
I know.
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
I-
but
I-
Avengers does not move quickly at all.
Yes, it does. This is where I disagree with you guys, okay? Avengers is a very quick
I
movie.
watched it with my parents, and they had the same exact complaint.
Where
Watch
were
it
you
again.
born in Avengers?
Watch it again.
Just the bigger dick contest. It was
What
just like,
bigger
oh,
dick contest?
that was
Are you talking about the
we
battle?
have to find this guy.
Are you
and
talking
we have
about
to find this. Oh my god.
Are you talking about the Cap, Thor, Iron Man?
Richard's
battle?
like, keep
Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even that. It was just like
All right.
I don't get that at all.
Everybody
I don't get that
and
at all.
it just kind of
Scene.
And I don't
For me.
need, I don't
Although
need
I
constant.
It was a really excellent movie.
We're not talking
Yeah, we're not
about
talking about
Avengers.
Avengers. We're not talking
We're
about
talking
No.
about the greatest
He's right.
movie
We can
this
talk
year
about
so
this
far.
afterwards.
I just
but
no, I.
Oblivion.
I
No, not a bad talk about this afterwards.
no,
just
they're both great
investigative.
movies. I just,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
There,
curious.
there
Okay,
are probably
things have
things
fallen
that
apart
you
here.
could cut out of
Yeah,
both
sorry.
with-
Real
and make it still work.
Sure.
Real
but,
quick, then I just want to add in, when the beginning scene, when he was like calling the armor toward him, didn't you guys get a bit of a Gizmo Duck sort of feeling?
No, because I don't know what that is.
It's
so
what? It's
I don't care.
Guess
Because we're
what?
not talking
Darkwing
about that.
Duck,
Darkwing Duck
fucking
and
Scourge.
Oh, I
yeah,
know
like
Darkwing Duck.
DuckTales, like he had said blathering, blather Skype, and it just fucking came to him? No? There, fuck you guys. There.
You remember that much
Hey,
of
Darkwing
Darkwing
Duck.
I
Duck?
love Darkwing Duck.
Did you get that
It's a
shirt?
good
I am the
show.
goddamn Darkwing
I
Duck.
wanted to, but I
Anyways.
couldn't get a shirt that had
That's not what we're
We're
talking
gonna wrap this up.
Motherfucking, he said, by the
So
way.
anyways, just that was
Like,
pretty much
really?
what I had to say. But another thing I wanted to mention is I spent some time in this movie though also trying to figure out who James Badge Dale was. Like I just saw the guy. No, because I know who he is. But I saw the guy and I'm like, I know this guy, and I can't think of who he is, and it bugged me for
You
a
did
while.
look at what is he?
And then when we saw the credits, I went, holy shit, that was James Badge Dale. He was in the Pacific. He was Lucky, I believe, in the Pacific, which was one of the better characters in the Pacific.
Didn't really care for
Uh,
it.
He starred in the that AMC series Rubicon or whatever. That was very slow,
Didn't see it.
very slow, but kind of cool and smart.
What
and
else?
whatnot.
Give me one more thing.
That's the things I know him from. So I don't know. You know him
Pacific,
from.
was he with the dude from Jurassic Park and the one Creole guy?
I believe
Oh,
he
the
was in
girl.
that part of the story, but he was one of
That
the
was
main
Lucky?
characters in the Pacific.
I don't remember. Okay, no.
So, James, clever girl Dale, gotcha.
Yes, but anyways, it was bugging me for a while. I just want to mention it was bugging me for a while, and then in the credits they said who he was, and I was like, oh yeah, I completely
That
forgot
chick
he
with
was in
the face looked familiar.
Rebecca Hall.
Yeah.
Yes.
I only
No,
know her
wait.
from the town.
No,
No, the one with the burn. on
The
her
burn.
face.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah,
kind of
she
thought that
looked
too.
The Russian broad. She was
Yeah,
like,
but then I saw her name and I went, I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, me either.
so.
Yeah, I heard the last name was
Homeland
Russian.
Security.
I'd be in her
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homeland
Sorry.
Security.
Homeland
Homeland
Security.
Security.
but only if it really had to go. While we were having sex.
Also,
Wait,
I
you
was
should
just,
talk about putting it in
this
the
just
butt.
reminded me.
Alright.
I kind of thought the Iron Patriot was shoved in there, and I didn't think it.
I didn't
needed
like
to
that
be.
they changed his
I
name.
didn't
I
think
thought that was
it
funny.
That made me think of
I mean,
Norman
it was
Osborn.
interesting. It was an interesting take on Iron Patriot because it wasn't the same as in the comics.
No.
But
I like that. I
it
like that.
seemed shoehorned in there. Like it seemed
Yeah.
like
Two
you didn't
things.
need
It
to
didn't
do
really
it.
fit.
One-
But to be fair, Don Cheadle was awesome in the movie.
He
Don Cheadle was
awesome.
good, but
I liked his character. I liked what Don Cheadle brought to the movie.
okay.
One, Didn't like the name of the Iron Patriot 2, that the shape of the thing wasn't a star. It was still a circle with just like a star.
Yeah, the star beam.
Yeah.
No, and that's what was fun. It was really just America's like, we got this robot. Let's make him the Iron Patriot. Don Cheadle, you gotta get in a robot now.
I almost think that
he's like, oh, fuck.
I almost think, due to the way they handled Iron Patriot in the movie, that it was like Marvel came to him and said, "We want Iron Patriot in this movie," and then Shane Black said, "Fine," because in the movie they constantly mentioned that that's a bad name and it should be Like it's kind of like him like
The
underneath
password,
going, "Fuck you, Marvel."
awesome.
I'm not gonna shoehorn this in here.
War
If I have
Machine
to,
rocks.
I'll do
And they did
Three
make it kind of
X's, all caps.
They did make it a little bit important to the
Terrible
plot
name.
and all that stuff. I mean,
I guess it
I-
just seemed needless to me.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it. I didn't think
Yeah.
I don't think having it in there detracted from the movie
Yeah.
as a whole.
I
I
don't think
thought-
it distracted, but
I thought overall though the performances were good. I mean, I thought like Kit said, Guy Pearce was excellent as the villain.
yeah.
Even though he looks really weird now.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
he
he's always
still looks like Guy
still
Pearce.
attractive.
I mean,
Well, you're weird too.
Thank you.
Honestly, when I think of Guy Pearce, I think of Time Machine.
yeah, as you mentioned, I think.
When I think of Guy Pearce, I go,
I think of the Australian
Memento,
actor.
man. Memento.
When the fuck did I ever mention the Time Machine in the history of ever?
The last podcast when we talked about Oblivion, you mentioned the Time Machine.
I don't remember that because
I have audio and video proof, but
And I'll have to look at that audio and video proof to actually say, I'm sorry, you were right.
And you just outed yourself as not even watching our own shit or listening our own shit.
Why would I
Anyways.
listen to it? I'm talking, I'm living.
because you don't remember it as you
But,
just said. you
yeah.
did.
There's a lot of things I've done that I don't want to remember.
Yeah, well,
And
I
I'm
think,
now finally in the podcast.
yeah.
There's a
No, that
lot of
was-
things I've done I don't want to remember. God damn it.
Cheers.
So, anyways, like I'm saying, though, overall I thought the performances were good. I actually liked Ben Kingsley. Even before the
Yeah.
reveal thing, when he's just being the Mandarin, I know it's a very polarizing topic on like the voice he uses and everything, but I kind of
Because
thought it
it's
was
kind of like
interesting.
half Bane,
Kind of weird.
half old
No, I didn't
English
get
Jew
Bane
pretending to
from
be
the old. I
Chinese.
didn't get
Southern Baptist.
How do you not
I didn't
Baptist.
get that either. I don't know. Did
You
you
have a
think-
certain accent to him, don't you?
think
America.
cannot. I am Chinese. Fortune cookies.
I-
There are two more lessons.
Stupid. They're
I thought his accent was pretty hilarious. There's no two ways about it. His Mandarin accent was.
I thought he was.
It was very
hilarious.
ominous in the commercial, and it did a great job.
Yeah.
His performance did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
No spoilers. So Brandon, not
Sir.
That's pretty
to
much
do
all I
this
have to
a
say.
lot, but
I
I
was
will
gonna-
say, what kind of boredom would you require for this movie?
Let's be honest. It doesn't matter what I say.
It doesn't.
People
but
are gonna
I'm
go see this movie. Okay? We don't even need to give it a rating
You
because
see, if you're a
You're
comic book fan,
boredom.
if you're a
It's
comic book
fun.
fan, you're
No, if-
obviously watching this. If you're
if
not,
you're a comic book
Good.
fan, you're gonna go see it. If you're
Why
not
are
a
you
comic book
watching
fan,
it?
Thumbs
you're
up.
still probably gonna go see this movie.
All right,
if
so
you're not a nerd at all, why
hold
are you
on.
watching
Can
this?
let's establish right now, if you're a comic book fan or a fan of the movies, you're already gonna go see it. Our opinion doesn't matter, obviously. Who cares?
I think that's most people.
So after
At least anyone watching
what about
this or
that?
listening to this.
What about that 10 who've never seen this shit? What do you think this is a good jumping on point for the Iron Man
Yes.
franchise? And
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yes.
Marvel Phase
No, because I think if you're jumping on, just watch Iron Man 1. Because I think Iron Man 1 is better than this movie, but
2? Okay, Kit.
I still really like this movie. It's still the best movie I've seen this year.
I thought that this was an extremely good movie. I think you could watch this alone.
Is
without
this a good
seeing
standalone jumping
I
on
think
point
you-
for
yeah, I
Marvel
think you-
Phase 2?
I think you could.
can.
I think you
can.
could if you want to. You know the basic elements. They'll probably mention it. They probably did mention it sometimes in the
They did.
movie. You could watch it and you could actually really enjoy the movie.
You won't understand the Yinsen part.
If you want to use this to add in all the rest of the movies and Avengers and shit, you're at shit out of luck. But that yeah. I get
I
it.
agree. I don't know.
Alright.
I thought no. I don't think you need a lot of boredom for this movie. I think it can stand alone. I think you might be a little
One
confused,
second.
but it's a good solid story, and I think that even if you are starting now, you could
So
enjoy
it's
it.
good. You can watch it. Richard's good, right?
It's good. No boredom required.
Let's just wrap this
All
up.
right,
So it's good. Go see it.
I'll see
Watch
it.
Avengers first.
Okay.
All right, and then you're good.
And Iron Man 1. So-
All right.
You're stupid!